Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Friday evening, NFL Divisional Round Discussion Day 2. If you missed last night's discussion,
Friday evening.
Whoa. Whoops. All right, fix that problem. If you missed last night's discussion, you can always go back and watch that video, but we should recap most of what was covered. We've had another day to think about it. Since we last talked, the thing that's really been sticking in my brain is about the Patriots and Chiefs meeting a span of 99 days from next week's potential game. If the Patriots and Chiefs play, and I've been talking about for a while the remarks made earlier this year by Chris Collinsworth about how he saw the Chiefs winning the division or the conference early in the season, and the only team being able to beat them in Kansas City would be the Patriots. If Tom Brady wins this week, he'll get his 137th home win. Chargers equals 137. And if the Chiefs beat the Colts, Tom Brady's next road win would be his 99th. He'd get his 99th theoretically next week in Kansas City. Of course, Arrowhead Stadium equals 99. Patrick Mahomes Jr.'s 99. New England's also 99. And the last time they met, a span of 99 days earlier, it was on Sunday Night Football. Sunday Night Football also 99. And, of course, this is the 99th NFL season. And don't forget, the Patriots came into this season with 523 franchise wins, the 99th prime number. So that seems to be the most 99 riddle there is. In the NFC, there's only one other team that has the 99 thing going on, and that's the Saints. Drew Brees equals 99. He wears the number 9. Battle of New Orleans equals 99. We've been talking about that riddle since before the season began. The War of 1812, where the national anthem was written, ended with the Battle of New Orleans. And I was looking at the Patriots and the Saints head-to-head. If the Patriots and Saints played each other again, just show you this. If they did meet in the Super Bowl, they met in the Super Bowl. Notice from the Saints' perspective, they're 4-10 against the Patriots, meaning from the Patriots' perspective, they're 10-4. If the Patriots played the Saints and won in the Super Bowl, they'd be 11-4, kind of like 114. Remember in July, we said that if the Red Sox made the 114th World Series, watch for them to win in Game 5, winning the series 4-1, like 41, the Super Bowl number, like how Tom Brady's 41, because that from Game 5 to the Super Bowl was a span of 99 days as well. And Boston Red Sox equals 53, Patriots 53. So I've really been just thinking about the 99s. And the other thing with the Saints in the Super Bowl is, do you recall the death of Will Smith? He died April 9th, 2016. Will Smith, the football player, he died the same night. Will Smith, the actor, was getting the Lifetime Achievement Award at the MTV Awards, and that year their theme was gold and black, just like the Saints colors. From the day Will Smith died to this Super Bowl is a span of 1,031 days. 1031 looks a little bit like 131, the big Super Bowl number. And if the Saints did go to the Super Bowl, it would be their second Super Bowl appearance, both with Drew Brees. And who would Drew Brees play? Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. And those Super Bowls would be 9 years apart, like how Drew Brees wears the number 9. So those riddles seem really strong to me. They seem really strong. And before we get into just going back over the games, we'll just see what's going on in the chat here. What's up, Big Kahuna? Yeah, I agree with Rick. If we can just stay on point. If you're leaving a comment tonight, please, because when I scroll through the comments, it eats up time when I'm scrolling through all the stuff that doesn't fit into the conversation. If we can just stay on point and put out our best thoughts, it'll help make this a lot more efficient. What's up, Jeremy? All right, so let's go through it. Colts, Chiefs. I'm going to do this again. This stat on the screen for the Colts doesn't include the playoffs. If you include the playoffs, the Colts are 11-6 on the season and 5-4 away. If they were to win again away, they'd become 6-4. Kansas City Chiefs does equal 64. The date of this game, 52-date numerology, 25-date numerology. The Chiefs have not won at home since 1994 on January 8th. That was 25 years ago and 4 days. 25-date numerology here. We also have 16-date numerology. 53 is the 16th prime number. Luck can become 5-3 in the playoffs. I pointed out yesterday he could also fall to 4-4, and if he did that, next year, the year of Super Bowl 54 in Miami, where the Colts have won all their Super Bowls, and the Miami Seahawks once folded and became the Baltimore Colts, if Luck became 4-4 in the playoffs, that means next year his first playoff win would put him at 5-4. And I'm just imagining if the Colts, I really do think we might see the Colts in the big game next year. There's been some riddles in the past that I've talked about more than a year ago. And just for a little imagination, if Andrew Luck got a first-round bye next year, won his first playoff game, he'd be 5-4 in the divisional round. If he won again, he'd be 6-4 in the conference round. And if he won the Super Bowl, he'd be 7-4. The reflection of 47, the big luck number. So anyway, main point there to think about for now is if he loses, he's 4-4, and his next playoff win next year would put him at 5-4 in the year of Super Bowl 54. Possibly symbolic. We have 32-date numerology for the Chiefs-Colts game. Kansas City 32, Chiefs 32, and we have 13-date numerology. Luck does equal 233 in Jewish gematria. That's the 13th Fibonacci. Chiefs can get their 13th win of the season. As for the date, January 12th, 112. Andrew Luck does equal 112, so does Horseshoe. Then again, so does Chiefs. So fitting that they play each other on this date. This was part of the reason we liked the Colts the most out of all 4 games last weekend. In the regular season, the Colts are 12-9 against the Chiefs. That's like Andrew Luck's birthday, September 12th. The Colts are 4-0 against the Chiefs in the playoffs, including beating them twice in Kansas City. So this will be the 5th playoff game here. The Colts are either going to become 4-1 against the Chiefs or 5-0. And Kansas City does have gematria of 41 and 50. Chiefs does have gematria of 50. But the 41 could fit too. 41 is the 13th prime. 13-date numerology. Again, the date numerology usually factors in. The Colts are 16-9 all-time against Kansas City. It is a 16-date numerology. Could they stay on 16 wins? If the Colts won, they would become 17-9, which looks a bit like 179. 179 is the 41st prime. 41 is the 13th prime. And Mahomes' birthday is September 17th. 17/9. These teams last played 804 days earlier. Kind of reminds me that Indianapolis Colts began in 84. For Andrew Luck, this is his 8th playoff game. Again, he's 4-3. He's 2-3 on the road. Could become 5-3 in the year of Super Bowl 53 on a 16 date. Again, 53, the 16th prime. If he won, he'd be 3-3 on the road. Heading into the conference championship next week on a date with 33 numerology. If he lost, he'd be 4-4 and 2-4 on the road. Colts does have the gematria of 24 as well. Be 2-4. It's Luck's 94th game overall. He's 57-36 and 25-23 on the road. If he won, he'd be playing in Foxborough next week against, well, I guess that's not a guarantee. guess theoretically the Chargers could win too. He'd probably be playing next week in Foxborough, though. Luck is 2-1 against the Chiefs, 3-1 including the playoffs. Again, we do have this 32 date numerology. Kansas City and Chiefs are 32. All right, here, we're taking a call. Let's see real quick. What's up, man?
What's up, man? I'm just going to add some more stuff to your luck that you're already doing. January 12th equals 58, so luck you get is 58. When you write it out.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't like that. I don't like that so much. It's just like that week where it was a clear win who was going to win, and then somebody pointed out that if you wrote out the date, it lined up for the Redskins. I was like, I don't know, and then it didn't work out for the Redskins. I mean, it is a thought, but that method is it's not consistent.
And then the Colts are 23 and 23 overall. CBS equals 24. Missouri is the 24th state too.
So the 24 could go either way.
Yeah, but then the divisional, it's 16 and 9. NBC equals 17. They play on NBC. So they get a 17 and stay on the 9. So, I like Luck to go. This is just my opinion, man, and I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, but Luck to go 5-3. Patriots equals 53. Foreshadowing plus Saturday equals 53. Luck get his 55th concurrent win. If you just add the regular season plus 1, it'll be his 55th win. Boston, Massachusetts equals 55, even though they play in Foxborough, but they still look at it as Boston, Massachusetts. Massachusetts equals 33, like you said, 33-day numerology. NBC equals 55 as well, and they play on NBC tomorrow.
All right, yeah, they're good thoughts. They're good thoughts. We wouldn't get the perfect 99 riddle though with the Chiefs and the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, man. I'm just like I did with the Chargers. I'm giving out, primes and stuff like that. So, divisional round, they 8 and 10, which is 18. So NBC equals 19 and 10. So in their 19th game, they can be on 10 losses. The Colts. So I'm just throwing it out there, man.
What's the 19 and 10?
NBC equals 19 and 10. So in the divisional round, in their 19th game, they'll stay on 10 losses. Because you account the NBC as their 19th game as well.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So I'm just saying and then I like, it's hard to overpass. Arrowhead Stadium equals 72. Mahomes going 7-2.
It's also 81 though.
Yeah. And then NFL Week 19 equals 72. So that's just what I'm looking at. And then I just want to bring this up too, Zach, that people forgetting about. We can't forget about that. It still might be Patriots and Rams, man, because in the Major League Baseball, the World Series was the Red Sox and the Dodgers.
And LA, right?
You know how that is. They carry it over. So
right.
Okay, so we can't forget about that, guys. So we can't count the Rams out. Because also the biggest thing, and then I'm gonna let you finish, is that we can't forget about Mac Miller sitting on that Ram before he died.
Yeah, that's a good thought. He died September 7th.
Yep, and he was sitting on that Ram. Everybody showed you the pictures. So. Right.
Well,
all right, I'm gonna let you get back to work, man.
All right, good thoughts. Thank you. Yeah, so let's look at that for each team as we look at. So this will be the 19th divisional round game for the Colts. They're at 8 wins. 19 is the 8th prime. They could stay at 8 wins or pick up their 9th. And he was saying how Saturday has the Gematria 53. Andrew Luck could potentially become 5-3 on Saturday. And let's see here. And then his other point was about NBC, the news network. NBC's 19, and he was saying they could stay at 10 losses on NBC. So I don't find the news stations to be consistent though. So, but they're still fair points. So 19 is the 8th prime. That's a big one though. They're at 8 wins in their 19th game. Make the note about Saturday. Okay, so it is a date with 25 numerology as well, and luck is at 25 road wins already. And that's a big ritual here with Kansas City because they have not won in the playoffs in 25 years. So luck could be stocked on 25 as well. Luck's 3-1 again against the Chiefs, including the playoffs. If he won, he'd become 4-1, a bit like 41 the 13th prime. If he lost, he'd become 3-2 on a date with 32 numerology. Kansas City 32, Chiefs 32, NFL 32. For Mahomes, it's his 18th game. He's 13-4 and 7-1 at home. And what's tricky here is Patrick Mahomes Jr. is 72 and 81. So he could become 7-2 or 8-1. Arrowhead Stadium, 70, same thing, 72 and 81. And don't forget the 99s either, because if it ends up being Patriots and Chiefs next week, Tom Brady can get his 99th win on the road, almost as Chris Collinsworth foretold months ago. And that would be to advance to the Super Bowl to conclude the 99th NFL season. If Mahomes won this week and lost next week, he would be 8-2. 8-2 at home. That's at home. And New England Patriots is 82. So is Vesica Pisces. Vesica Pisces is 53 as well as 82, the shape of the football. So if Mahomes won this week, lost next week, that would also be perfect with the Patriots. Mahomes has not faced the Colts yet. The game's 122 days after Luck's birthday, or a span of 123 days. Kansas City equals 122. Game's 117 days, or a span of 118 after Mahomes' birthday. 13's 117. Patriots is 118. So is Tom Brady. Could be a tell who he's playing next. The coach comparison, the rookie coach for the Colts, who was with the Eagles last year, Frank Wright. Again, his name's 66, like Andrew Luck's full name, like Colts is 66, like it's their 66th season. He's 11-6. 11 times 6 is 66. Good rookie year, making it to the playoffs. Trying to emulate what Doug Peterson did. Andy Reid is 1-4 in the playoffs with the Chiefs. He's 11-13 all time. We do have a 13-date numerology. Could he stay at 13 losses? KC equals 13 and 14. It's going to be Andy Reid's 25th playoff game as well. In light of the 25-year thing since Kansas City won. Reid used to be with the Eagles. Both of these coaches having connections to the Eagles, which is interesting. Andy Reid is 66-35 overall as the coach of the Chiefs. Again, it's the Colts' 66th season. Big number for them. What's interesting about the birthday alignment is for Andy Reid, the game's 66 days before his upcoming birthday, or a span of 67 days. And he could potentially get his 67th win with the Chiefs. 67, the 19th prime, a span of 67 days from his birthday in 2019. And just look at the Chiefs here real quick. Oops, clicked the wrong button. So for the Chiefs in the divisional round, this is going to be their 11th game, the master number. They are 2-8. So they're either becoming 3-8 or falling to 2-9. Football is 29. If they stayed at 8, again, 19 is the 8th prime number. For the Colts, it's their 19th game. The ref for this game is John Hussey, number 35. Again, it is the Colts' 35 years since being in Indy. Last week, that was the number that would just stack so well for the Colts to beat the Texans. That's why we really like the Colts over the Texans. So it is interesting that they do have ref number 35. John Hussey in Gematria is 144. The way that number stood out to me in this game is Mahomes can become 14-4 with a win. 144 has a square root of 12, the number Andrew Luck wears. John Hussey's also 126 and 45 and 45. 45 makes me think of the Colt 45s. But the refs really burned us last Sunday, so I'm gun shy, pun intended, on the refs right now. The owners, Clark Hunt of the Chiefs. It's interesting that he finished 94 and 98 in the regular season this year, in light of being the 99th NFL season. Kansas City Chiefs does equal 98. He's 1-5 in the playoffs. And when I saw that, I said, wow, so if he gets the win, he'll be 2-5, kind of like 25, like how it's been 25 years since the Chiefs won at home. And remember, 25 is a number that's important to time. Time equals 25. 25 date numerology. And get it over Andrew Luck, another 25. So in light of the 25 date numerology, and how symbolic this would be for the Chiefs, find that very interesting. That said, if he lost, he'd become 1-6, but you have a 16 date numerology as well, which makes it tricky. If only he was 2-4, then it would be easier to call. But this can go either way and be with the date numerology. Of course, 53 is the 16th prime. It's just that it's been 25 years since the Chiefs won in the playoffs at home. Jim Irsay, he's 268 and 243 in the regular season and 13 and 14 in the playoffs. We do have a date with 13 numerology. So if he lost, he'd stay at 13. That's the way it could make sense with both owners. Chiefs win, Colts lose. Then the date numerology would sync with both. And in light of the narrative being tight, if I'm made to pick, I mean, the thing that's standing out the most to me is just how that Chiefs-Patriots rematch is. And go back and look at the date of that game one more time. October 14th, 114. I see in that, like the 114th World Series, which was very much synced up with the Super Bowl, again, concluding 99 days before the Super Bowl. So. All right, I'm checking your guys' notes right now. Okay, I don't see a lot of comments so far. I saw a quote from Andy Reid. I haven't seen anything that is too big for Pat. Okay, it's in Patrick Mahomes. When I saw the name Pat, it made me think of Patriot too. All right, I didn't see too many comments there. All right, well, I didn't see a lot of comments there. There is a narrative on the board for both teams because they both have connections through the 16 and 25 number. But the 99 piece between the Chiefs and Patriots has me favoring the Chiefs for that reason. So, all right, Cowboys Rams. Here's the other Saturday game. And just like last week, just so you guys know, just like last week after the Saturday games are over, I'll come on after the games and we'll evaluate what happened and see if any big clues were dropped for the next day. So, Saturday, same date numerology, 52, 25, 16, 32, 13. And we got a battle of two 13 teams here. LA and Dallas both 13. Los Angeles Rams equals 52. Goff equals 25. This doesn't show the Cowboys playoff win. So the Cowboys are 11-6 on the season and 3-5 away. The Cowboys are 13-12 against the Rams in the regular season. They are tied 4-4 in the playoffs. This is their 9th meeting in the 99th NFL season. And the Cowboys lead 17-16 all time. If the Cowboys were to win, they would advance to 18 wins and stay at 16 losses on a date with 16 numerology. Here, before we advance through this, let's just look real quick at the Cowboys and the Rams in the divisional round. So, in the divisional round, this is the Cowboys. This is going to be their 27th game. They're 15-11, meaning they can get their 16th win in the divisional round on a date with 16 numerology. They could also theoretically get their 12th loss. Los Angeles is 37, the 12th prime, but we do have a 16 date. And we're going to see how a lot of 16 stack for the Cowboys. There's more than just that. Okay, Los Angeles Rams. Let's see how they've done in the divisional round. So for them, this is going to be their 19th game. 19 is the 8th prime number. Notice they're already at 8 losses. So makes that interesting. They can get their 11th win or their 9th loss. Okay, so the Cowboys, for the total season, can get their 12th win, counting the playoffs and regular season. Again, Los Angeles 37, the 12th prime. For the QBs, Dak Prescott, it's his 3rd playoff game. He's 1-1 and 0-0 on the road. Los Angeles equals 37, the 12th prime. If Dak lost, he would fall to 1-2. It's Dak's 51st game. He's 33-17 and 15-9 on the road. That means he has a chance to get his 16th road win on the 16 date. If he did win, he'd be 16-9, which looks a bit like 169 having a square root of 13. And we have the 13 date, the battle of the 13 teams. If he lost, he'd stay at 15 wins. Rams does equal 15. If he wins, he gets his 34th win all time. Again, this is the 34th meeting between these two teams as well. To date, Dak's 0-1 against the Rams. Goff is 0-1 in the playoffs. He lost last year at home to the Falcons. That was a really easy call last year because we understood the riddle. Goff's 40th game, he's 24-15 and 11-9 at home. That means he can get his 16th loss on a 16 date, or he can get his 25th win on a 25 date. Makes that one tricky. The way the 16s both hit for the date is if the Cowboys win. Dak gets a 16th road win. Goff gets a 16th loss. Cowboys get their 16th divisional round win. To date, Goff's 1-0 against the Cowboys. The game is 167 days after Dak's birthday. That's the 39th prime number. Cowboys does have Gematria 39. The game's 90 days or a span of 91 after Goff's birthday. 91's the 13th triangular number. Jason Garrett is 2-2 in the playoffs. With a win, he'd be 3-2. America equals 32. Again, they call Dallas America's team, and we have the 32-date numerology as well. Jason Garrett's going to turn 53 days after Super Bowl 53. Garrett's 79-61 all-time with the Cowboys. Sean McVay is 0-1 in the playoffs. McVay can get his 25th win with the Rams on a 25 date. It's like Goff. They're on the same career path. The game's 290 days after Garrett's birthday, or a span of 291. The game's 75 days for his upcoming birthday. For McVay, it's interesting that the game's 353 days after his birthday, because that's the 71st prime. The name McVay equals 71. Interesting alignment for him. 71's the 20th prime number. Didn't really see any big 20s on the game. Well, I take it back. Okay, glad I looked at this again. The Rams could get their 20th playoff win. So I'll make a note about that. The game's 12 days or a span of 13 before his upcoming 33rd birthday. The ref in this game is John Perry, number 132. United States of America equals 132. John Perry has Gematria 53. That's the 16th prime. The 16s would go in favor of Dallas in this game. John Perry also, Los Angeles equals 53 as well. 53, the 16th prime. John Perry equals 46. Dallas, Texas is 46. John Perry equals 118. Los Angeles, California equals 118. It's on the 118th meridian. So does Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas is also 118. So, to me, the number that seems most significant from the ref, if we can draw anything, is the 53. Because, again, that connects to the location and the date. 53, the 16th prime. For the owners, the game is 91 days or 13 weeks after Jerry Jones' 76th birthday. There's a 13. 91's the 13th triangular. Jerry Jones is 262 and 218 the regular season, but in the playoffs, he's 15-11, meaning he could get his 16th win on this 16-day. At the same time, he could be stopped at 15 wins. Rams equals 15 and get his 12th loss. Los Angeles 37, the 12th prime. But that's 16, you know. Stan Kroenke for the Rams, he's 64-79-1 in the regular season and 0-1 on the playoffs. So the trouble with this game is, again, how the 16 or the 25 could play. And in the prior game, because realize these teams are scheduled for the reasons they are, the matchups they are on the day they are for a reason. I would say in the Colts-Chiefs game, the 25 seems to be the more significant number because the fact that the Chiefs have not won a playoff game in Kansas City in 25 years. That's why 25 matters. And these teams, in terms of city name and nickname, they don't have the connection to 53, the 16th prime. But the thing is, luck can become 5-3 in the playoffs. And also Saturday does equal 53, the 16th prime. Got to keep that in mind. They are playing on Saturday. But the 25, it fits in with Kansas City and what's going on with their franchise. The 16 in this game seems to be more relevant because it's in Los Angeles. Los Angeles 53, the 16th prime. Jared Goff, by the way, wears the number 16. Jared Goff's number 16, the QB. Goff is also 25, though, and that's the one risky thing here with LA. They can get their 25th win. And the other thing about the Rams and Kansas City both playing at home on this day is, again, these teams had parallels between each other all year, and the Rams used to be in Missouri like the Chiefs not long ago. So for the Saturday games, who I favor are the Chiefs, and I think we might very well get a Cowboys upset. Because I just don't see how anyone like outside of this knowledge would pick the Cowboys. I mean, Dak Prescott's not a very impressive quarterback. The Cowboys haven't looked like that great of a team. The Rams have looked pretty dominant throughout most of the year. So, I mean, if I didn't know Gematria, I would probably be picking the Rams in this game just based on the talent levels of the team, if you will. But there are just so many 16s on the board for the Cowboys here. So we come out to the chat. This is the 99th NFL season. So Marty sees the relevance of the Rams becoming 8-1 at home. It looks like 81, which has the square root of 9. Yeah, I see that. I see that. We looked at this yesterday with Phillip Rivers. He's not 0-7 against the Patriots. He's 1-7. Here, we'll get to that game in a minute. He's not 0-7. I don't know why people keep writing that. Chris thinks the NFL needs the Cowboys to win. I suppose he says that for ratings. What's interesting about the two LA teams is how their names fit together, right? Rams and Chargers, like how Rams charge. Remember in history, the Dallas Texans folded and became the Kansas City Chiefs. So there's a link between the Chiefs and Dallas through that. Oh, I see. Okay, I get it. So, okay, he's 0-7 against Brady. Okay, I got it. Because it was against Matt Castle, one of them. Okay, that's why it's that way. If he becomes 0-8, don't forget 19 is the 8th prime. All right, I don't see a lot of commentary tonight. It looks like you guys are listening. So we're now getting into the Sunday games. And hold on. Got to scroll down more. All right, Sunday games. Chargers at Patriots. Patriots are 8-0 at home. If they win, they'll be 9-0 and likely their last home game of the 99th NFL season. They'd be at home again next week if they won and the Colts beat the Chiefs. So if Patriots win, they're 9-0 at home in the 99th NFL season. We have 53-date numerology for the January 13th game. Remember, the Chargers and Patriots played on January 13th in the 2006-2007 season in the same divisional round. So this is deja vu of 12 years ago. 53-date numerology, Patriots in Los Angeles, 53. 26-date numerology, 17-date numerology. Rivers does wear number 17. Okay, now I'll say Rivers is 0-7 against Brady. That is interesting. That is interesting. He's 1-7 against the Patriots. We have 33-date numerology. Tom equals 33. And 14 on the date too, plus it's the 13th of the month. The Patriots are 22-14-2 against the Chargers in the regular season. The Patriots lead them in the playoffs 2-1. So this will be the fourth playoff game. And the Patriots lead 24-15-2 all time, meaning this will be the 42nd game. And with regards to 42, I was just thinking about when you write out 9, it equals 42. It's the Patriots' 9th home game. They can become 9-0 in the 99th NFL season. New England equals 99. For Rivers, it's his 11th playoff game. He's 5-5 in the playoffs and 3-3 away. If he did win, he'd become 4-3. Chargers does equal 43. That is the 14th prime. 14 date. For Rivers, it's his 219th game altogether. He's 123-95 and 55-55 away. If he lost, he'd be 5-6 in the playoffs and have his 56th loss away. It's kind of like how he became 5-5 last week and got his 55th away win, becoming 55-55. And that riddle really had me humming and hawing because I was talking about how important 10 and 55 are. Yeah. Rivers is 1-7 against the Patriots. I guess this is including the game against Matt Castle. If he lost, he'd be 1-8, kind of like 18. It's the 2018-19 season. If you add 1 through 18 together, it equals 171. New England equals 171. If he became 0-8 against Brady, remember 19's the 8th prime number. For Brady, it's his 38th playoff game. He's 27-10 and 21-6 at home. He could get his 22nd home win over the Chargers. Chargers 79, the 22nd prime. San Diego equals 38. I know they're not San Diego anymore, but they were for the majority of these matchups. And let me also do this real quick. Just look at these teams in the divisional round. The Chargers in the divisional round. This is going to be their 12th game. They are 4-7. 4-7, 12th game. Los Angeles and Patriots both 37, the 12th prime. 19's the 8th prime. They can potentially get the 8th loss. Let's look at the Patriots here. Divisional round. Patriots, this is going to be their 22nd game. They are 15-6. So we have 53-date numerology. 53 is the 16th prime. The Patriots can get their 16th divisional round win on a date with 53 numerology over Los Angeles, 53. And then, again, the Chargers would get their 8th loss, 19, the 8th prime. The stat that I like more than any stat this week out of all of these games, like just the kind of stat that I like to see, is the fact that Brady can get his 137th win at home and the team he's facing has 137 Gematria. Chargers equals 137. It's Brady's 305th game. That looks a bit like 35 to me. Tom Brady equals 35. He has 35 birth numerology, QB 35. I believe it's Robert Kraft's 35th playoff game too. Brady is 8-2 against the Chargers. If he did lose, he'd fall to 8-3. Football does equal 83. He's born on August 3rd. Coming back to the where was it? What was I just saying? I meant to just make that point. Where was it? The fact that it's Brady's 38th playoff game, it is interesting because his birthday, August 3rd, can be written 3/8. He's 8-2 against the Chargers. With a win, he becomes 9-2, winning 9 of 11. I mean, there's rhyme and reason to that as well. So, I mean, I could make sense of that either way. New England does equal 45. That's the 9th triangular number. It's going to be the last game at home probably for the Patriots for 2018-19 season. And again, he could become 9-0 at home, picking up his 9th win against the Chargers in the 99th NFL season where New England's 99. The game's 36 days or a span of 37 after Rivers' 37th birthday. Interesting how that works out. 37's the 12th prime. Again, Los Angeles is 37, Patriots 37. The game's 163 days after Brady's birthday. 163 is the 38th prime. Again, it's his 38th playoff game as well. Playing the team that used to be San Diego 38. In 2006, 2007, the Patriots beat the Chargers in San Diego on this same date in this same divisional round, January 13th. That was Super Bowl 41 year. That's the year the Colts beat the Bears. So Colts and Patriots, let's see. In those 2006 and 7 playoffs, the Colts and Patriots met after the Colts beat Kansas City and the Ravens. So it is interesting that the Colts did beat Kansas City that year. They beat them in the wild card, and then the Ravens in the – or actually it might have been in the divisional round. Here, let's just pull it up real quick to be sure. Just take a moment. All right, so in the wild card round, the Colts beat the Chiefs that year. Then they beat Baltimore. And then they face New England. That was the conference championship. And just while we're at it, New England won 24-21 in that divisional round, 45 points. New England 45, 45 the 9th triangular. The coaches, the Chargers coach, Anthony Lynn's 22-11 with the Chargers. He could get his 12th loss. 37's the 12th prime. Patriots 37. All time, he's 22-12. He could get his 13th loss as well. 13-99. Belichick's 27-10. With the Patriots in the playoff. This is going to be his 38th game. He's 28-11 in the playoffs all time, counting his time with other years. Belichick's 252-89 with the Patriots all time. His next win is his 253rd. That matters because the National Football League equals 253, and it's the 22nd triangular number. Again, Bill Belichick can get his 6th championship this year at age 66 in the Atlanta Stadium like Nick Saban, his old coaching buddy, did last year. These guys used to coach together with the Browns, if I'm not mistaken. Nothing jumped out at me too much with the birthdays. Well, okay, I should point out that the game is 23 days after Lynn's birthday, and if he upset the Patriots, he would get his 23rd win. So he could theoretically get his 23rd win 23 days after his birthday. The ref, Ron Torbert, number 62. Ron Torbert in Gematria is 55, 62, 125, 145. 62 was a huge number last year for the Patriots. Los Angeles does have Gematria 55. That's something. The Chargers owner is dead. He died this year on the day, leaving 83 days left in the year. Robert Kraft in the playoffs is 30-14. This is going to be his 45th playoff game. New England equals 45. 45 is the 9th triangular. He's either going to get his 31st win or 15th loss. And I favor the Patriots because I think their numbers are a little bit better, such as how specific it is about Tom Brady getting his 137th win over the Chargers. The fact that Rivers could become 1-7 against Brady on the 17 date is really interesting, though. It's the Patriots' 59th season. Is it the Chargers' 59th season as well? Let me see what season the Chargers are in. Yeah, it's both of their 59th season. That's the 17th prime. So we'll go over these playoff records for all teams at the end. I have them written down for the modern era and the all-time. But yeah, there's some tricky narratives this week. I mean, I'll just be surprised if old Tom's not in the Super Bowl, not even being 41 years old. Dean Spanos must be the son, the new owner. So he's not going to have a record in the playoffs yet. For the person asking how they can get in touch with me, I do have a phone number you can call. And I pick it up anytime I'm in the room. I keep it next to the computer when I'm decoding. If I don't pick up, just call me back later. I'll pick it up when I see it. John's got the weekday count going. It is interesting, John. I don't know. It seems too much to not count the weekends. Rick asked me a question that I need to look up what that means. Oh, yeah, that's right. What Philip Rivers' motto. Hold on. I did a post on that earlier this year. Hold on. Let's see if I pull it up. Okay, so his motto has this gematria of 143, like Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. It means now I begin, which has the gematria of 53, like Vesica Piscis. Also 46, like now I begin, like Catholic. 46, big number there with Tom Brady and the Patriots. So Philip Rivers is Catholic. Okay, the ref, he did have the 145 connection. Tom Brady gets the Catholic tributes though too, so it's hard to make too much of that. But Catholic is 145. I remember the riddle with Jake Butt dropping to the 145th pick of the draft. Yeah, I couldn't use this to determine if it was going to help him against the Patriots or not. But Rivers is having one of his better seasons ever in the year of Super Bowl 53, no doubt about it, playing for Los Angeles. Los Angeles is 53 too. Playboy says he thinks it'll be 2 seeds and 6 seeds for both conferences. We saw the 1-6 riddle go down last year. This season did begin on the 26th of Elul. So That would be Eagles and Rams if it was 2 and 6. Eagles and Rams and Patriots and Colts, huh? 2 and 6, 2 and 6. That is a thought. I mean, that goes against what I'm saying right now, but 26 was a huge number to start the season in the game where the Falcons beat the Eagles to open it up. And this year, the AFC has a chance to win its 26th Super Bowl. Again, the reason 26 matters is because this season began on a date with 26 numerology. It was a huge ritual in the first game where all of the touchdowns scored were by number 26. And on the Hebrew calendar, it was the 26th of Elul. So that would be, if that was the riddle, it would be Rams and Eagles. And Patriots and Colts. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, that number takes text messages. Okay, so let's look at this last game here to look at. The last game of Sunday. The Eagles and the Saints. The Eagles are now 10 and 7 on the season and 5 and 4 away. New Orleans equals 54. Drew Brees equals 54. They're playing at New Orleans this week. And let's see something real quick. Okay. Sean Payton's going for his 126th win. Okay. If the Saints can win 2 at home in the playoffs, they'll be 8 and 2 at home. Saints equals 82. Remember how they were the first team to become 12 and 2 in the league, doing it on Pope Francis's 82nd birthday, and Pope Francis is 122. They became 12 and 2 on the day Pope Francis turned 82, and Saints is 82. Saints had the most clear rituals all throughout the season. Drew Brees' records, the way they beat the native teams, the Pope Francis thing. It's been a year of major rituals for the Saints. And the Eagles last year, I mean, we had a clear read on because of what Donald Trump did. This year we've talked about the Saints and the Battle of New Orleans since before the year began. All right, let's go through this. We have, again, 53-date numerology, 26 number, which is huge with Philadelphia. 17-date, 33, and 14. The Eagles lead the regular season 16-12. New Orleans leads the playoffs 2-1. This will be the 4th playoff game. The Eagles lead 17-14 all time. And again, we have 17 and 14 date numerology. So that makes that tough. This will be the 32nd playoff game. I do believe Eagles, when you flip it around, it's 32. It's going to be the 32nd game. Eagles got the 32 connection. Last week, we had 46 date numerology in the 46th meeting between the Eagles and the Bears lost. So just keep that in mind. For Foles, it's his 6th playoff game. He's 4-1 in the playoffs and 2-0 on the road. With regards to writing out 6th, the word it equals 26. Those numbers have a strong relationship. Mankind's made on the 6th day in the 26th verse of the Bible. Adam's 26, God's 26. Anyway, 6th, 26, Nick 26, Flag 26. Philadelphia equals 101, the 26th prime. For Foles, it's his 50th game. He's 30-19 and 13-10 on the road. Here, before we go ahead with this, let's just look at the divisional round 2, just to keep these numbers in mind as we go. The Eagles in the divisional round are 8-6. 8-6 the Eagles are. 19's the 8th prime. If they lost, they would fall to 8-7. Philadelphia Eagles in the most pure ciphers, 87. They do have one S, though, which means you can add +9 more. So Philadelphia Eagles is also 96. And if they won, they would become 9-6 as well. But 19's the 8th prime, and Saints is 19 too. We're gonna this rematch is coming 8 weeks after they last played in the regular season, where the Saints won by 41 points. Was the score of that game 49-8? 48-7. 48-7. '41 the 13th prime. The Saints became 9-1 like 91 the 13th triangular. So some 13s there. Okay, but the Eagles are 8-6. This is their 86th NFL season to the Eagles. The Saints are in their 52nd season. Pope equals 52. Let's see. For the divisional round, the Saints are 2-4. 2-4. The loss, they'd fall to 2-5 in their 52nd season. With the win, they'd be 3-4. Okay. So again, Foles is 30-19 and 13-10 on the road. We do have a 14-date numerology. He could get his 14th win. He'd stay at 19 losses against the Saints 19. Foles has never played the Saints before. For Breeze, it's his 14th playoff game. He's 7-6 and 5-1 at home. If Breeze won, he'd pick up his 8th win. Again, 19's the 8th prime. When you write out 8 as a word, it equals 49 like Eagles. If he won at home, he'd become 6-1. Philadelphia equals 61. Last week, Philadelphia won the scoring touchdown. That play began with 61 seconds on the clock. 19, the 8th prime. Saints 19. They can get their Drew Brees can get his 8th playoff win. He'd do it over Nick, too. You know, Nick's 19 as well. If Drew Brees won, he'd become 8-6 against the Eagles, eliminating them in their 86th season. For Brees, it's his 277th game. He's 162-114 and 89-48 at home. 277 is the 59th prime number. Revelation has Gematria 59 in light of playing Philadelphia, named from Revelation. He could get his 49th loss. Eagles does equal 49. If Drew Brees wins his next 2 playoff games, though, he's going to have 91 wins, the 13th triangular. And 91 is also the reflection of 19, Saints 19. So that's the thing to think about. If he wins this week and wins next week at home, he's at 91 wins heading into the Super Bowl. Brees is 6-3 against Philadelphia. If he lost, he'd be 6-4. New Orleans Saints 64. Brees is 2-0 in the playoffs against Philadelphia. 6-3 altogether, 2-0 in the playoffs. The game is just so we were clear, that's his record against the Eagles in the playoffs. The game's 358 days after Foles' birthday. Last week, again, it was 351 days after, which made me hum and haw because that was the 26th triangular, and it was a 26 date, and Nick's 26, and Sure enough, he won. So he doesn't have the special birthday alignment this week like he did last week. That's the point I'm making. The game is 7 days or a span of 8 days before his upcoming 30th birthday. He's 29 years old right now, the football number. When he turns 30, 30 is the 113, 113 is the 30th prime number. Eagles 113. That was how we called the Eagles upsetting the Rams on Sunday Night Football earlier this year. Nick Foles' birthday. January 20th. So his birthday is the date of the conference championship game next week. If Nick Foles advances, he will be playing on his birthday. Something to think about. If he doesn't, he'll be watching on his birthday. With regards to the span of 8 days, 19 is the 8th prime number. He's facing the Saints in this game. It's to beat the Saints to get there. Peterson is 4-0 in the playoffs. He has not lost yet. If he did lose, he'd become 4-1, a bit like 41, the 13th prime. He won the Super Bowl last year with 41 points. He's 33-19 all-time with the Eagles. If he won, he'd stay at 19 losses against the Saints. Saints 19. Peyton is 7-5 in the playoffs. He's 125-79 all-time. With the win, he gets his 126th win. He'd stay at 79 losses, the 22nd prime number, Eagles 22. The game is 347 days after Peterson's birthday. That's the 69th prime. Means his upcoming birthday is 18 days or a span of 19, Saints 19. The game's 15 days after Peyton's birthday or a span of 16. And they're playing on a date with 53 numerology, 53 the 16th prime. The ref in this game is Carl Sheffers, number 51. He has name Gematria 59, 67, 104, and 220. 59 is the 17th prime number. 67 is the 19th prime. Saints equals 19. For Breeze, again, it's his 277th game. That's the 59th prime. The ref has the 59 connection. Again, Revelation has the 59 connection too. Connected to Philadelphia. The Eagles owner, Jeffrey Lurie, he's 15-12 in the playoffs. It is a 53 date, 16th prime. Could get his 16th win, Jeffrey Lurie. Could also get his 13th loss. 13 goes with the 99. 13 equals 99. Drew Brees, 99. New Orleans, 99. Saints owner died this year on the Ides of March, March 15th. New Orleans beat Philadelphia January 13th, 2007. It's kind of interesting to think about the two. Okay, just having a thought here. The two remaining teams that had owners die this year, 4 owners died. The Texans and Seahawks were eliminated last week who had owners die. With it being the Chargers and Saints with the dead owners remaining, makes me think of Drew Brees because he used to play for the Chargers. New Orleans and Philadelphia played on January 13th. New England and San Diego played earlier. I think I misspoke. Earlier, I think I said New England and San Diego played on January 13th in 2006, 2007. They actually played on January 14th, but it was the same playoffs 12 years ago. On January 13th, the Saints and Eagles played on this day. So they're the two teams. So interesting how we get this very similar divisional round from 12 years ago. And again, the AFC and NFC had 5 of the 6 same teams for both conferences for these playoffs. Talking about that last week before the games were played. So Seattle and Dallas faced that year in the wild card round, but this time Dallas got the better of Seattle, you know. So just because it went a certain way last time doesn't mean it'll go this way this time. So we have to think about. Again, Will Smith, the Saint, who died April 9th, 2016. From his death to the Super Bowl is a span of 1,031 days. Super Bowl is 131. It's also 147 weeks in one day. It's like how from the first Sunday of the NFL season to Super Bowl Sunday is 147 days. Master Builder equals 147. The Master Builder number is 22. 22 men on the football field. Come down to these playoffs. So for the modern era, this is when after the first 4 Super Bowls were played, like this year's Super Bowl 53, the 49th of the modern era. In the modern era, the Colts are 21-21 in the playoffs. The Chiefs are 8-18. And what is really interesting about that is if the Colts did win that game, the Chiefs would become 8-19. 19 is the 8th prime number. So that's very interesting. The Chargers in the modern era are 11-13. If they did win, they'd get their 12th win. Patriots 37, the 12th prime. If they got the 14th loss, remember the game's on a 14-date numerology. 14-date numerology for the Chargers this week. I'll just put these notes here because you guys might look at this stuff later. The Patriots are 33-19. If the Patriots don't lose at all, they'll stay at 19 losses. The Cowboys are 35-27. The Rams are 16-21. Dallas, what stands out to me there about that is Dallas does have Gematria 22. Dallas 22. Eagles 19-20. Saints 8-10. It's 2019. They're facing the Saints. The Saints could hold them at 19 wins. And 19 is the 8th prime. The other thought here is Drew Brees is number 9. It's the 99th NFL season. We've seen a lot of 9 and 99 this year. First Saints win of the 99th season in the playoffs could be number 9. But don't forget about the 19, the 8th prime too. I mean, it is there. So the all-time playoff records look like this. This is just counting the modern era and everything before it. The Colts are 23-23. The Chiefs are 9-18, meaning the Chiefs' next loss will be their 19th. It doesn't necessarily have to come this week. The Chargers are 12-17. Remember how New England equals 171, the 18th triangular. Phillip Rivers can become 1-8 against the Patriots. Could also theoretically get his 13th win. 13 has the relationship. The Patriots are 34-20. Tom Brady, the game's 305 days after his birthday. 35 is the big Tom Brady number. Hard to imagine him not getting it with it just being right there a game away. I mean, I can't imagine Tom Brady, if he doesn't make the Super Bowl this year, coming back and doing it at any time in the future. I just feel like, I mean, how much longer can this go on with Tom Brady? Seems like it's now or never for Tom Brady to do it again. And he's 41 years old right now. That is the Super Bowl number of numbers. 41, the 13th prime, 13-99, New England 99. Look at this. If the Patriots won this week and next week and the Super Bowl, they'd have 37 wins, like how Patriots 37, like how the article just came out about the Patriots franchise now being worth $3.7 billion. That was written when Robert Kraft just won the award the other day, the Jewish Nobel Prize. The Cowboys in the playoffs are 35-27. If they advanced to play next week and they faced the Saints, New Orleans Saints is 64. It would be their 64th playoff game next week. Just a thought. The Rams, notice the Rams are at 19 wins. If they choke, they'll stay at 19 wins in 2019. And I think the Rams and Cowboys, though, they play on Saturday, so they play with the 25-date numerology. So the Rams are playing on the date with 25 numerology. They could stay at 25 losses on the 25 date. The Eagles are 23-21, 45th game for the Eagles. New Orleans 45, Drew Brees 45. Saints 8-10. That means it's going to be the 19th playoff game for the Saints. Saints 19, you know. There is the relationship with 19 and 8. 19's the 8th prime, but 9's obviously a number in the Eagles and Saints game because both quarterbacks wear the number 9. Nick Foles and Drew Brees, they both wear the number 9. 45 is the 9th triangular. New Orleans is 45. Drew Brees is 45 as well. I learned this week that Nick Foles and Drew Brees went to the same high school too. Maybe there's a clue in the name of the high school. Saw that earlier this year with Andrew Luck. His high school equaled 99, snapping the win streak at 9 in Houston. Westlake High produced 2 Super Bowl MVPs, Drew Brees and Nick Foles. Westlake High. Westlake High's got that 61 like Philadelphia, the 18th prime. Drew Brees could become 6-1. We looked at that. Become 6-1 over by getting the W. Drew Brees just turned 40 years old also since the last game. And then again, these QBs. So here's our remaining QBs. Tom Brady, with the win this week, gets his 137th home win over the Chargers, 137. Drew Brees, there's nothing as clear in his stats facing the Eagles. Well, you know what? If he loses, there is a clear stat. If he loses, he gets his 49th loss, and Eagles does equal 49. So that's dangerous right there. If Drew Brees can win 2 home games, though, he can get to a number that makes some sense, too. He can get to 91 wins in the 13th triangular, the reflection of 19. But it is right there on the board with a loss. It's number 49 against the Eagles. Rivers. For Rivers, there's nothing that's very clear in his away stats. We did point out that he could become 5-6 in the playoffs and get his 56th away loss. If he won, I don't know what the connection is with 124. He would stay at 95 losses in Foxborough. Foxborough does have the 95 connection. Andrew Luck. Somebody did point out that if you write January 12th, it equals 58. I don't like using this. It's just like earlier this year, there was a game that I liked a whole lot, and then somebody brought up how if you wrote out the date, it was perfect for the other team. I said, well, that is interesting, but then the other team didn't win, and I was like, this is why it's better to go with the typical stats. I mean, you start like looking at too many things, you might start pulling up some numbers that, yeah, they match, but maybe they don't have historical relevance. The number that really matters for Luck is the fact that he can become 5-3 on the 16 date. Andrew Luck's on the road. Andrew Luck's on the road on a 25 date. He'd stay at 25 road wins with a loss. And finally, Kansas City would get their home playoff win for the first time in 25 years. Dak, he's looking for either his 34th win or 18th loss. And again, he can get that 16th road win on the 16 date. I mean, more often than not, the QB stats hit. And it's like last week. I showed how if the Chargers won, Phillip Rivers' win record made perfect sense, and Lamar Jackson's loss record made perfect sense. And I really should have gone with that. If it wasn't for going with the ref, which turned out to be a big mistake, hindsight's always 20/20. The ref made me go the other way, but the QB records made perfect sense last week with a Chargers win. So, I mean, the QB stats, sometimes they don't go that way, but more often than not, they do. Nick Foles, he's looking for either his 31st win or 20th loss. And on the road, he's either going to get the 14th win on the 14 date or the 11th loss. When you write out 11, it does equal 99, something to keep in mind. And if he did get his 20th loss, Catholic 71, the 20th prime, we saw a number of big Catholic rituals with the Saints this year, the team that have the most Catholic symbolism in the league. For Goff, he plays on a date with 25 and 16 numerology. He can get his 25th win or 16th loss. Los Angeles is 53, the 16th prime, which maybe makes 16 the more significant number because it goes with the date and the location. His home win, if he did get his 12th, Los Angeles is 37 12th. There's nothing really huge in his home stats that to make a determination either way. And then Patrick Mahomes, 18th game. If he wins, he becomes 14-4. Remember, the ref who's reffing has the 144 name Gematria. 144 has a square root of 12. He'd defeat number 12, Andrew Luck. 12 years ago, the Colts did beat the Chiefs in the playoffs in the wild card round. He's either going to become 8-1 or 7-2 at home, which is tough because Arrowhead Stadium and Patrick Mahomes Jr. have Gematria of 72 as well as 81. You could argue that the 72 is a little more pure, but we see how the method where it's 81 plays very often as well. So, I mean, it makes it tough there. I was going to go through and get a list of number 99s on each team. Just see if there was anything there, if there was any big clues with the 99s. The most 99 player in the league is Aaron Donald on the Rams. I didn't finish that list. Something I'll finish doing after this decode or after we're done here and just before I put out the quick picks. But here, just one more thing we can also look at. Again, potential matchups for next week. So if the Colts and Patriots met next week, what's juicy about this is if the Colts and Patriots met next week, the Patriots would lead the Colts 52-29 all time, meaning the Patriots could get their 53rd win and advance to Super Bowl 53 in a home game. So that puts a 53 on the board. That would also be the 82nd game between these teams. New England Patriots does equal 82. Escapaisis equals 53 and 82. So there's something very juicy there to that. Excuse me. The Colts and Chargers. If the Colts advanced and the Chargers advanced, it would be the 30th game between the two teams. The Chargers would lead that 18-11. If the Chargers were going to the Super Bowl, they could get their 19th win to advance in 2019. They could also pick up their 12th loss against number 12, and then the Colts would be on their way to the Super Bowl. These numbers connect to this season in the way, say, these numbers do. So I'd have to favor that this is a more likely matchup than a Colts-Chargers matchup. If the Patriots and the Chiefs advance, it would be the 37th game between the two teams. And again, Patriots equals 37. We talked about, what was it, that Tom Brady, let me come back and look at Tom Brady's stats. There was a 37 that lined up for the Patriots in the playoffs. Let me see real quick. Just discussed it. So many things to keep straight. The Patriots, if they win the Super Bowl this year, they'll have 37 playoff wins. So there is something to that 37 number there. And again, just the article written about how the Patriots are now valued as a $3.7 billion franchise. So it'll be the 37th game between the Patriots and Chiefs. The Chargers and Chiefs would end up being an AFC West matchup. And that would be the 119th game. Definitely a significant number, 119. I don't know how it fits into this season so much. I mean, you get cute and say, well, you can break it into 11 and 9, 11 times 999, but it's not so much a football number. It doesn't really fit in with Super Bowl 53 or either team in the matchup. So I don't see the rhyme and reason to that potential matchup. Rams and Eagles. Rams and Eagles. Eagles lead 22-19-1. It would be the 43rd game between the two teams. Football does equal 43. But the number doesn't connect to either team really, or necessarily this season. It is a football number, but it would give a matchup of the big upset, the Eagles beating the Rams. We saw that one coming, but I don't know. It just doesn't jive with the numbers this season, in my opinion. The Rams and Saints. It would be the 76th game. The Rams would lead 41-34 all time. The Saints played, if that was the matchup and the Saints won, they'd get their 35th win, a big Catholic number. 35, the reflection of 53, so maybe. The in light of it being the 99th NFL season, the United States of America 99, 1776, maybe something like that. Cowboys and Eagles, we get an NFC East matchup. It would be the 121st game. And if this happened, I'd have to imagine the Eagles were going to win it because 121 is the big revelation number, which goes with Philadelphia. So if this became the matchup, that would have a Philadelphia theme for sure. And also notice, Philadelphia could get their 53rd win to advance to the Super Bowl. So Philadelphia could get their 53rd win to advance to Super Bowl 53. And Cowboys and Saints, this would end up being the 30th game. Dallas does equal 113, the 30th prime. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. You look at some of these other possibilities, like, for example, this Cowboys and Eagles thing. I mean, it really does seem to have more rhyme and reason, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. If it was the Cowboys and Saints, it would give the Saints the opportunity to get their 13th win over Dallas. Dallas is 13. 13 has the relationship with 99. I mean, it could be that way. But it is very interesting how the Cowboys-Eagles allows the possibility for a team to get their 53rd win to advance to the Super Bowl. And it is also interesting for the Colts and the Patriots how it also creates that possibility. So trying to be really thorough. The problem with being really thorough is starts to open up a lot of things to think about. And sometimes that's not so fun. I'll come back to this, though, one more time where we started. If the Super Bowl ends up being the Patriots and the Saints, if it ends up being those teams, and the Patriots win that Super Bowl, they'll be 11-4 against the Saints, which looks a lot like 114. And again, the 114th World Series, we predicted in July that if Boston made it, they'd win in Game 5 because it was 99 days before the Super Bowl. And Boston Red Sox is 53, like Patriots is 53. And again, the Red Sox won 4-1, like 41. Super Bowl equals 41. Tom Brady's 41. The date of the Super Bowl does have 44 numerology. Out of the teams remaining, the team with the 44 connection that I realize is the Saints. Saints equals 44. So it has me thinking they're going to be there. And I've liked the Patriots since before the season began because they came into the year with all the 99 connections. The possible biggest 99 ritual for the conference championship is to have the Patriots and the Chiefs play each other. So, and again, that would be the 37th game. And the Patriots would get their 16th win, 53 the 16th prime. So, I mean, there's some rhyme and reason with that one too. Jacan says Cowboys' next Super Bowl appearance is their 9th. Patriots next is their 11th. So you get a 9 and 11 there. Yeah, and then he turns 53 days after the Super Bowl. Yeah, that is right that the Cowboys and Saints did last play. I think we covered that yesterday, 53 days before the conference game. That was where the Cowboys upset the Saints. November 29th. 29, the 10th prime. So Cooper wears the number 19, doesn't he? Cooper, number 19, big number this year. The Saints have Des Bryant now? I thought Des Bryant wasn't playing. Next year. Oh, they had him for a second and then he got hurt, right? Isn't that what happened? That's right. They had him for a second. Let's look at that real quick. Let's look at that day they signed him. Let me see. Did I record that on my blog? That could be a big clue there about those teams meeting. Oh, shit. Maybe I didn't record it. Day Des Bryant signed with Cowboys. What day of the week was November 7th, 2018? So, okay, so that's the day he signed, November 7th, 2018. All right, let's see how that lines up. Okay, so the game's 1/20/2019. 74 days, huh? Dallas Cowboys is 74. Des Bryant's 47. Des Bryant and Dallas Cowboys both 43, 14th prime. Oh, that's interesting. And then November 29th, the game is 52 days later, which is interesting because it's the Saints' 52nd season. Pope's 52. Remember, Pope Francis 122. And if you count the span, it's 53 days. Also 7 weeks and 4 days, huh? Let's look at that one more time. What it would be with the Cowboys and the Saints. It'd be the 30th game. Dallas 113, the 30th prime. I'd have to assume that the Saints would win that game and pick up the 13th. So John writes, Battle of New Orleans ended 204 years ago. Colts can stay on 204 away wins. Now that matters because the Colts are originally from Baltimore, and the national anthem was written during that war in Baltimore on September 13th. So that means the Colts would have to lose and the Cowboys would have to win. I think it's interesting. It's hard to make the picks on that, but I mean, I was already leaning that way that the Cowboys are going to get this upset and the Colts are going to just the Chiefs and the Patriots matchup is too juicy with all the 99s for me to ignore that. What about Dallas lost to Indy 23-0 and Super Bowl played on 23? All right, let's go back and look at that game. Dallas Colts. Go this way. Cowboys, Colts, box score. December 16th. December 16th. It'd have to be a Super Bowl matchup. All right, let's just see what it looks like. So that is interesting that it's 49 days later because Super Bowl 53 is the 49th of the modern era. And Dallas does equal 49. NFL's 49. NFL's 49. Super Bowl is 49. 49th Super Bowl of the 49th Super Bowl of the modern era. Dallas 49. It is interesting. It is interesting. But also that game could have just been like a tribute to the Super Bowl because every year we'll look and see how things line up like that, and then it makes it go, huh? Because sometimes the rituals are just for the big game, but it doesn't necessarily mean those teams are going to be in it. But that is fascinating that it is 49 days before, so 7 weeks. Yeah, maybe I did, but I didn't title it right or something. It didn't pull up for some reason. Saints can drop to 9-11 if they beat the Eagles and lose the Cowboys next week. Okay. Welcome, Robbie. Thanks, man. Just reading your guys' comments real quick. So they were talking about that on First Take too, huh? 0-7. So the one danger with that is he could become 1-7 like his jersey number on a date with 17 numerology. What was it? It was week 10. I've been working off regular season records, but I've just been including the playoffs and then the all-time records. That's what I've been doing. Jonathan points out the Saints have the best run defense out of all 8 teams left. Now they like to talk up defense in the playoffs. All right. Here we got a caller. Hello?
Hey, Zach, how you doing, man? I called you yesterday about that headline that Gronkowski said, no room for excuses.
Right.
What I noticed about that is the 81 that showed up twice in that phrase. And, Brady with a loss could be 8-1, and San Diego with an away win could be 8-1. So I thought that was interesting. Is that a trap, or do you think there might be something more to that, or it just doesn't mean anything?
Well, if you use the rule with S, that phrase is also 99, no room for excuses. So it's hard to say from that. It's hard to say from that. I favor
thought the 8-1 kind of stuck out.
Yeah, the 81, the ritual number. I see what you're saying. So I like the fact that Brady can get his 137th home win over the Chargers. Chargers 137, and so,
okay, very good. Thanks.
Yeah, that's stronger to me than a headline. All right, thanks,
okay,
man.
Good. Bye.
All right, see you. The most dangerous thing for the Patriots is I see what he's saying about how they can become 8-1 at home. The Chargers would become 8-1 away. The most dangerous thing to me, though, about this thing is the fact that Rivers is 0-7 against Brady. He wears the number 17, and we do have a date with 17 numerology. It's also the 59th season for both teams. And Rivers could become, or 59 is the 17th prime number. So let's pull this up again. Notice the Patriots, their next win in the divisional rounds, they're 16th. This is a really good year to get it. 53, the 16th prime, Patriots 53. So and then the Chargers, just one more time, their divisional round, 4-7. It's hard to take anything too clear away from that. That one could go either way. Somebody said, what about the Chargers getting their 16th win all time? So you mean in the series? Yeah, that is a thought. That is a thought. They could get their 16th win all time. You're right about that. Make a note about that. Ultimately, what it comes down to, again, for me, is no team had a better connection to 99 than the Patriots at the start of this season. They came into the season with 523 franchise wins. That's the 99th prime. New England equals 99. And then Patriots is also 53. So Super Bowl 53. Tom Brady's the Super Bowl age. If you guys think it's going to be the Chargers, I mean, go for it. I know Denham picked the Chargers to win the Super Bowl, so good luck to him. But I'll be surprised if the Patriots aren't in the big game. So I want to think that this is the end of the Tom Brady script. And notice the 41-year-old's playing on the 13th. 41, the 13th prime. LA's got their 13 wins for the season. Patriots get 2 more wins in the playoffs. They'll enter the Super Bowl with 13 wins. And if they did win the Super Bowl, they'd get their 14th win. 14th got that Gematria 41 and 112 like Super Bowl. So Jonathan seeing that slave revolt, War of 1812 narrative. The New York teams didn't get it done tonight, huh? Damn. Well, that's disappointing. Yeah, the Chargers would be 8-2 away with a loss, like how New England Patriots is 82. Yeah, that's right. And that's what we were saying about Mahomes, too. If Mahomes wins this week and loses next week, he'll be 8-2. Oh, yeah. Thanks for that correction, because the Chargers did already win last week on the road in Baltimore. So if they lose, they'll be 8-2. Right? The 81 possibility is there for the Patriots, though. But Chargers would fall to 8-2 away with a loss, counting their 2 playoff games. Yeah, Battle in New Orleans ended January 8th, 26 days from the Super Bowl, the anniversary date. That's cool, Jeremy. I'd like to see how that cover turns out. Does Foles playing Drew Brees in 2013 have a factor? Who was Foles with in the Rams? Foles. Let's see. Rams, Saints, box score 2013. Game. Huh. This is not the game. Was it 2012? We'll see. Foles, Bree, no, Saints, Rams, but well, let me see something real quick. Nick Foles, career stats. Maybe he was on a different team then. Oh, he was on the Eagles back then too. Okay. Eagles, Rams, Chiefs, Eagles. Eagles, Saints, box score 2013. Is this the game? Where are the stats here? Okay, so they played each other. What day was this? January 4th, 2014. So this was a date with 19 numerology. 1 + 4 + 14, 19 numerology. The Saints won with 26. That's the Eagles' magic number. So they got them with their number. So 19 numerology. Got him with the 26. Yeah, this is a good thought here to look at this game. Nick Foles had 33 attempts. It's amazing how often the losing quarterback goes down with 33 attempts. All right, let's just look at how long ago that game was to this game. January 4th, 2014 to January 13th, 2019. 262 weeks in a day. All right. Well, it's interesting that they played on a date with 19 numerology, and here they are again in 2019, Saints 19. All right. Jeremy writes, Dallas is going for their 523rd modern era win, the 99th prime, and it would be their 227th modern era away win. New Orleans, Louisiana 227, who they would likely face after the Rams. That's a good observation. Marty's going with all the home teams, playing it safe. Well, John, I don't know. I imagine if you look at different sites for the stats for the war, it could be different from site to site. Like, I don't know where you got that from. If it's from Wikipedia, they even change their own numbers all the time. But that is interesting. Yeah, they are numbers that relate to the Eagles. No, Brandon Meebane's baby didn't die 2 days ago. It died January 3rd. I did a video on it. It's a big 13 ritual. That was before the Chargers got their 13th win. The news story came out 2 days ago, but the baby died January 3rd, 1-3. So I think that ritual was for the Chargers picking up their 13th win in Baltimore. Baltimore 41, the 13th prime. What's up?
Hey Zach. Well, yeah, just a quick observation I was looking at, going back to the whole War of 1812 and the slave revolt. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pause. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll pause the video in the background, but I was doing some observation as far as like the whole 13 equals 99 thing and the whole War of 1812 and 1811 slave revolt. I was thinking of like colonies and colonizing around that time. And the word colonize has the same overlap with 13. When you write out colonize, it has 45, 36, 99, and 117 gematria. So just a little quick thought out there.
Okay. Say it one more time. Give it to me one more time.
I was thinking of colonizing, because like back in the slave revolt around that time, there was a lot of colonizing going on back then. And when you write out the word colonize, it has the same overlap with the word 13.
Oh, I see. Let me check it out. I never looked at it before. So what's that have you thinking for the games?
It just has me thinking about, the whole thing with the Patriots and Saints.
Okay. Oh, God, I spelled 13 wrong. Yeah, I see it's got overlap in 3 of the 4 ciphers. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, just a quick thought, but I'll keep listening to your live stream.
All right, appreciate it, man.
You're welcome.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good night. Yeah, New Orleans and New England are both 99 and 45. Oh, no. Drew Brees is 99 and 45. That's what it is. Drew Brees. All righty. Brandon Meebane's daughter sums to here. Look, I'll show you that. If you're those of you who don't know about the video I did, how do you spell it? Here, his daughter's name equals 99. Look at this. Look at this. McKenna Meebane, 99. She died on January 3rd, 1/3/1399, LA 13. Her name is McKenna Meebane, M the 13th letter, MM. And she died January 3rd, 2019, date with 43 numerology, Chargers 43. And from January 3rd to his birthday was 12 days later, or a span of 13 days. And they said she died from a trisomy 13. See, it says she died Thursday. This article came out Wednesday. This article came out Wednesday before my radio show. So it was last Thursday, or the Thursday before last Wednesday, which was January 3rd. And they said it was born November 12th, this baby. Look at that. From November 12th to the day it died was its 53rd day of his age. You know, Super Bowl 53, Los Angeles 53. So November 12th is the day leaving 49 days left in the year. Super Bowl 53 is the 49th of the modern era. I mean, you could make an argument, hey, is this a sacrifice to get the Chargers to the Super Bowl? If they win this week, maybe it is, but to me, this could have just been a sacrifice to get them their 13th win over Baltimore, which happened 3 days after this death occurred. So they have 13 wins now. They could lose against New England 99. So yeah, it is an interesting story. Huh, Meebane went to Cal. It's interesting. Here, since Jeremy brought up this stat about Dallas in the modern era, we can just do this real quick before we wrap this up. I think you guys know what way I'm leaning on all the teams. I'll put out the quick picks, but this week is tough. These games are tough this week. Let's see here. Okay, so all time. So let's go through our teams that are playing. Cowboys. So there's where Jeremy's saying they can get the 523rd all-time win in the modern era this weekend, the 99th prime number. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. Broncos. Let's see. Where's our next team? Colts. The Colts' next loss is their 409th, which is the 80th prime in the modern era. Next win's the 446th. I don't think there was any connection with 80. What's interesting is the Chiefs are at 433 wins in the modern era. That's the 84th prime, like how the Colts have been in Indy since 84. That's interesting. Chargers' next win in the modern era is 405. New England is 45. The Rams are at 433, the 84th prime too. Interesting how the Rams and the Chiefs are both at 433. And both playing on the same day and both having the Missouri connections. Patriots next win's 490. 377 a prime number. I just want to check that real quick. It's the 14th Fibonacci number. Well, that is interesting because it is interesting that the next Patriots loss is the 14th Fibonacci, just because they are playing on a date with 14 numerology. Saints, not prime numbers there. Eagles, wow, a lot of teams at 433. Wow. 433, the 84th prime. That seems so interesting that 3 of the teams are at that win total for the modern era. Eagles, Chiefs, Rams. Those are all teams Nick Foles has played for, too. Huh. That is weird. If Gematria goes down, sometimes you just got to keep reloading it and it'll pop back up. Like sometimes I'll have to reload it like 6 or 7 times and then it'll work. It does that sometimes. Yeah, I'm really weirded out by the these 3 teams being at the same franchise win record in the modern era, and all being the teams that Foles played on. Eagles, Chiefs, Rams. I mean, what are the odds of that? Jonathan thinks that that might be the indicator that those are the 3 teams that lose. All Nick Foles teams, all with the same record. We would get a Colts Patriots AFC championship. Okay, let's just think about that. If that is like some big clue that's telling us that those 3 teams are all going to move together. All right, hold on. I got too many windows open here. By the way, the War of 1812 ended on a date with 53 numerology, you guys. All right, let's look at this. Where's it at? All right, so let's just say the Chiefs. Let's say that all these 4-3-3 teams lost. That means it would be Colts and Patriots next week. What was so interesting about that is it would be the 82nd game between these teams, and the Patriots could get their 53rd win to advance to Super Bowl 53 over the Colts. Well, that's assuming that the Patriots beat the Chargers. So the Chiefs would be out. The Rams and the Eagles would be out. So that means it would be Saints and Cowboys. And then in that game, you'd have the well, you don't get the 53 thing with that one. The only 53 riddle in the NFC potentially next week is if the Cowboys and Eagles advance. So, but yeah, if it is those three teams, that means it would be Cowboys and Saints in the NFC. Which is kind of what I was already favoring in the NFC. So that is interesting. It just, in the AFC, I mean, Andrew Luck does definitely have a riddle to win this week. It's just the two things for the Chiefs are the Patriots and Chiefs with that major 99 alignment and it being foreshadowed by Chris Collinsworth earlier in the year. And also the fact that the Chiefs can end that 25-year drought on a date with 25 numerology and the owner can become 2-5 in the playoffs. So... the glitch in your matrix has those three teams losing as well. The 4-3-3 teams. That is true how the lunar eclipse falls on the date of the games next week. So John writes, I guess in theory, the Pats could play Colts, and then Pats would be the away team versus Saints and get 99th away win there. Yeah, it's a possibility. You must be looking at the modern era stats with that, what you just said there about the Colts playoff record. Okay, you're saying in the modern era. I see what you're saying. Rams and Chiefs at 15-3, huh? Okay. All right, guys. We've gone over it really thoroughly. You're going to have the notes to look over. I'll add this note to the thing about the 433. I'm going to think a few more minutes, and then I'll put up oh, we're going to call here. Hello, caller.
Hey, what up, Zach? This is Dave from the chat.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, you're right, man. It does seem like the Patriots should be the away team because the Chargers have a better record than the Patriots, and the only reason why the Patriots got
they won the division.
Exactly.
Right.
So maybe that's something to consider.
The Chargers were the better team this year?
Well, I mean, because you said that, you know, the Patriots seem like they should be the away team. And if we just take out the fact that, let's just say they just playing straight up and take out the division winners and put the Chargers as a home team, then maybe that could point us in another direction.
Sure. Just going off the record, though, what I like about Brady is he can get his 137th home win, and Chargers equals 137.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I like the Patriots anyway, but you know, when you said that, I checked the records and I was like, damn, I said Chargers got a better record than the Patriots, so
right.
Yeah, so I figured I'd call in.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Good observation.
All right, no problem.
All right, have a good night.
You too. Peace.
Adam Gase going from the Dolphins to the Jets, huh? I think the Colts are next year. I think the Colts are next year. Colts win all their Super Bowls in Miami. The Miami Seahawks folded and became the Baltimore Colts. I think this narrative is about Andrew Luck shaking off the rust and getting ready for a big season next year. So, yeah, I agree with John's statement about whoever wins between Saints and Eagles will be the team in the NFC for the Super Bowl. I think that's right. Denham's got Colts, Cowboys, Chargers, and Saints. That's interesting about Luck and Peyton in the 9th season. Here, let's we haven't even looked at what the latest is for the over-unders in these games. Do that real quick before we close out here. Chiefs, 5.5-point favorite at home. Rams, a 7-point favorite. New England, a 4-point favorite. New Orleans, 8-point favorite. And these teams last played 8 weeks ago. 19 the 8th prime. Something I didn't mention about the Eagles playing on January 13th is that Eagles does equal 113. They're playing on 113. That is something to consider. And it was the, let's do it one more time. 2006, 2007 playoffs, New Orleans did beat the Eagles on that date, January 13th. SOJ birthday. Society of Jesus? Okay. Devin says Eagles can get 18th win all time in series 18 days before Doug Peterson's birthday. All right, Alfonso, you have a good night, man. Yeah, this time it's a tough week this week. All right, you guys, let's wrap it up. I'm gonna think a little bit more, and then I'll put out my quick picks. It's razor tight this week, so good luck. And tomorrow after the games are over, when the games are over, I'll fire up a live stream and just evaluate what happened with Saturday to see if we can get any big clues for Sunday. So it is possible. It's possible that both LA teams go down. So LA's got the 13 connection. Only the Chargers are playing on the 13th. All right, you guys. Good conversation. Wish the narratives were a little more clear this week. So far, the clearest thing in the playoffs has been that Colts-Texans game. So LA burned this year. Here, that's a thought. Let's just look at how long it's been from the fires in light of the way things like that go. Here, one last closing thought. November 8th, date of the LA fires. We got games on the 12th and the 13th. 65 days, so a span of 66. And then, so January 13th would be 66 days in a span of 67, 67 the 19th prime. And just thinking if there's any correlation there. Burn has that connection of 19. I got to think more about this Chiefs-Colts game because the Chiefs in New England have the 99 ritual set up. If we have a Colts-Patriots conference championship, though, the juicy thing is there that the Patriots can beat them and get their 53rd win all time to advance to Super Bowl 53. So that is tough. Like I said, once I'm done with this, I'm gonna look over my notes again and try to form a clear thought and make 4 concise picks here. So the Cowboys seem to have a lot of numbers line up for the upset here. I think if there's any game that has a lot of alignment, it's the Cowboys. But the one thing for the Rams is Goff can get his 25th win on the 25-day. He can also get his 16th loss. There's a lot of 16s on the board in favor of Dallas. Patriots, I expect them to win. You know, I've expected them to be in the Super Bowl all year. Tom Brady can get his 137th home win over the Chargers, 137. So, and also get their 16th divisional round win on the 53 date, 53 the 16th prime. And Eagles Saints, I'm favoring the Saints right now, but just going to look over all the little playoff stats and see if I'm going to stick with that. So, I mean, the thought right now is before I go and put out the decode is I'm favoring the Saints. I'm favoring the Patriots. I like the Cowboys to get the upset. And this game's got me torn up right here. So might do a little more thinking on this one. But the Chiefs, they can end that 25-year drought on a date with 25 numerology, and the owner of the Chiefs can become 2-5. So that is fascinating to me. Brady can get his 16th win versus the Colts as well, huh? That'd be something else, 53 and 16. Jeremy's got Chiefs, Cowboys, Patriots, Saints. That thing we just looked at with the 433 and the 84 is got me bugged out on the Chiefs Colts game. So I'm gonna look at the 99 players on each team too. So I gotta do a few things and then put out some quick picks before it gets too late here on the East Coast. Here, what time does the game start tomorrow? Tomorrow's game start later, right? People should have time to get in their picks. Yeah, they start later tomorrow, so people should have time. But I got to hurry up before it gets too late on the East Coast. Some people like to get their picks in earlier. John says he's 13-1 on the season decoding Eagles games. Is that right, John? Saints can get the modern era home loss 207 in Super Bowl 53. Very interesting. Battle of New Orleans 207. That's very interesting. Good work, Auspicious. Has it ever been a time when the 2 6-seeded teams advanced? I don't have the answer to that question. I do not have the answer to that question. Huh. So auspicious writes it's 204 years after the War of 1812 ended. Colts got modern era away win 204 last week. So does that mean that they're done because they play away again this week? Saints can get modern era home win 204 this week. Patriots can get modern away win 204 in Super Bowl 53. So that must mean they'd have to win 2 times. Put up the weather stats for the games again. See if we got an update. They still got the Colts Chiefs at 38. Still don't have a weather for Cowboys and Rams. They haven't put up the temperature. I don't see the temperatures for the Sunday games yet either. They gave us that big fat 66 for the Colts game last week. I think that was a big clue. Colts just had everything going last week. The 433 teams are, in the modern era. They were the Chiefs, the Rams, and the Eagles. The 84th prime, that is. Last week, one home team won, and it was Dallas. Dallas 13, and the other 3 home teams lost. 1 and 3, like 13. Home equals 13. Very welcome, Robbie. Normally, we're able to make better calls than this week, but this week is just tight. Okay. All right, you guys, I think we hit it really thoroughly. I'm just gonna run over it again, and I'll put out the quick picks. And probably the game I'm going to be the least confident in is the Saints and Colts. So Yeah, the Jesuits is the 84 number. You know what else is 84 is United States of America is 84, and if you put a the in front of it, it's 99. The United States of America 99. So kind of fits in with that riddle too. All home teams won divisional playoffs 2 years, 11 months, and 25 days. So I guess that was 3 years ago. $251, the 54th prime society, Jesuit orders 54, and then Drew Brees and New Orleans are 54 too. What are the other teams here with the 54 connection besides the Saints? Colts can get 540 tomorrow and stay on 540. That must be in the modern era. Or that must be all time. Yeah, all time. Record and playoffs, I see. Grant Malone says, think about it. Chiefs is Indians versus Patriots, and then in the NFC, Cowboys and Saints. So you got Cowboys and Indians and Patriots and Saints. Yeah, yeah. The thing with the Chiefs and Patriots, again, is just how tight that 99 riddle is. I mean, it is really hard to overlook that. Gronkowski going to avenge himself from the Miami Miracle. All right, you guys, let's wrap it up. I'll be back with the quick picks very soon. Just want to comb over everything and just see if I can get my mind right on that Colts Chiefs game. Good night, Jen. Oh, the Family Guy episode. Yeah, it's a thought. It's a thought. All right, you guys. Yeah, good night, everybody. I'll be back with the quick picks in just a moment. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. And good luck this weekend.